If you've tried cooking without oil and everything either stuck, got burnt, or tasted like sadness, it doesn't mean that you're bad at cooking. It just means you never learned to do things differently. And today, that's what we're doing. Greetings and welcome to or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. And yes, that includes cooking without oil. And I know that there's a lot of conflicting information out there about oil. A lot of people consider it to be a completely safe and healthy part of a well-balanced diet. That's fine, that's great. I prefer not to use it because I find it to be a ridiculously calorie-dense product. It's heavily processed. It doesn't include things like nutrients and fiber. And honestly, for 99% of the things I need to cook and make, I have found ways to go without it. That being said, this video is not going to try to condemn oil. If you like oil and you found a healthy way to use it in your balanced diet, you do you. This video is really for the people who are interested in looking at alternative ways to cook without using it. And I know that a lot of people start off trying to cook without oil and they quit because, their food starts sticking or it tastes flat or the vegetables and whatnot don't roast and crisp up like they're used to. So today, I'm gonna give you 5 techniques that actually work. These aren't hacks, they're purely foundational skills. And once you know them, you're good for forever. Let's start with one that everyone thinks they know, and a lot of people unfortunately get wrong: water sautéing. Here's the mistake. People take a cold pan, throw onions in, dump water in immediately, and then wonder why things are mostly just kind of steamed. That's not sautéing, that's like a vegetable spa treatment. Here's how to actually do it correctly. Most important thing, you gotta preheat your dry pan. Medium heat, let it get warm first. The best way to know if your pan is the right temperature is to splash some water on top, and if you see some little balls starting to form and roll across the pan, then you know you've got the right heat. Then you put your onions in dry with nothing else. Spread them out in the pan and leave them for at least 30 seconds. You're gonna start to hear them sizzling slightly. Now, and only now, you can add like a splash of water or broth, but you might not need to. For me, all I did with this batch of onions that I'm cooking is just start to move them around in the pan, and you see they're already starting to brown up without any oil. Stir, and then let it cook down. Let the pan with the onions build up a little bit of browning. And if it starts sticking, that's okay. You're not failing, you're creating flavor. And if they're really sticking, just put another splash of water or broth in. That's what deglazing is. And that brown stuff that's on your onions, that's gold. I'm sure someone is gonna argue against this in the comments, but oil doesn't create flavor. Browning does. And now you've just learned your first level up skill. This one is magic for beginners because oil isn't what softens up vegetables. It's heat. Moisture just helps control it. Let's take mushrooms, for example. People drown mushrooms in oil thinking that's what helps them cook properly. No, mushrooms will cook on their own because they release enough moisture. They're so packed with moisture. Same as the onions. Put them in the pan, medium heat, let them sit for a minute. Add in a tablespoon of water or 2, put the lid on, and now you're steam sautéing. The lid's gonna trap the moisture in and the heat is gonna cook them evenly. And cooking this way, you shouldn't really be fighting with sticking at all. This is great for things like zucchinis, broccoli, peppers, greens, and you are in control with the texture by adjusting the heat and the timing. And if you understand this, oil feels really, really optional. Depending on what you're cooking, they will cook at different times and different temperatures. Look, I could lie to you and tell you there's a perfect ratio for every single vegetable, but there are so many different variables when it comes to the temperature inside of your kitchen, the temperature of your pan, the kind of pan you're using. So really, this is just something you are gonna have to learn by doing a little bit. But once you know these things about how your pans and your kitchen and your vegetables react, that's knowledge that you will have for the rest of your life. So this is one that a lot of people come at me in the comments about, and that you need oil to bloom your spices, which is opening up your spices. Oil doesn't do that. Heat does. Take your pan, get it warm. Don't put anything in it. Add your spices, whatever they are, cumin, chili powder, paprika. Put it on a low heat for 30 to 60 seconds, and just let it sit. You're going to smell it immediately. That's the volatile oils releasing from the spices themselves, not added oil. And now when it comes to something like tomato paste, drop that in a pan. Move it around and let it darken a little bit before adding the liquid. That's gonna deepen the flavor, it's gonna intensify the flavor. Same with nuts, same with seeds. Oil is not the flavor, the Maillard reaction is the flavor. Restaurants know that, and now so do you. This is the big myth. A lot of people say, well, I tried roasting my vegetables in the oven and they just dried out. All right, well, let's fix that. First, parchment paper. Second, space out your vegetables. If they are touching, they will just steam. Then we need a high heat. We're talking 400 to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 to 220 degrees Celsius. Fourth, flip your vegetables halfway through the cooking time. And here's the trick a lot of people miss. Just roast them plain. If you want to toss them in a little bit of aquafaba, that's fine, but you don't need much, like a tablespoon or two max. And then season them after. If you douse your vegetables in a wet marinade before cooking them, you are basically giving them no chance to do any browning at all. So we roast them first, then we season after, or sauce. Let me just show you with straight up potatoes. The really important thing here too is just trying to get them in as uniform a shape as possible so that way they can cook evenly. If you have like one giant chunk of potato and one small one is gonna burn and one's gonna be undercooked probably. Do your best to try to get them to be the right size. You don't need oil, you just space them out and you heat them up. They dry because the surface browns and caramelizes. That's physics, not some kind of magic that comes with oil. So when it comes to the French fries in the oven, the other thing to consider is like hot spots in your oven. Like you'll notice that the fries on the ends of both of these sheets are a little bit more browned on the bottom, and that's because they're closer to the edges. So when I put these pans back in, I'm gonna switch the pans so that way the things that were on the outside are gonna be on the inside now. Just rotate them around. Another thing some people do that can be interesting when making potatoes is if you have a little bit of extra time, boil them in a pot in the stove for just like, once the water starts to boil, just like 2 or 3 minutes, okay? And then drain them, and you can kind of smash them down, like put them back in the pot, put some spices in if you want, and then just shake it up a little bit. And then what happened is the French fries are gonna, the potatoes are gonna break apart a little bit, and so when you bake it then, it gets even extra crispier. So that's something we've done before on the channel that is definitely a really, really awesome hack. I know a lot of you are probably watching this video because you're looking to reduce oil in your diet as a way to help with, health and weight loss. And that's exactly what I did. But here's the one thing that I did wrong on my journey towards getting healthier was that I looked at the number on the scale as the only marker towards my health. And the one thing I wish I would have done from the very beginning was have something like the Hume Health Body Pod, who is the sponsor of today's video. What I love about the Hume Health Body Pod is obviously it looks at your weight, but that's just one of like 47 different markers that this scale has. This scale measures your visceral fat. It looks at your bone density. It looks at the way your body is holding on to water. The app creates this digital twin so you can see your results in real time and how your body is reacting to changes. For those of you that are coming from a lot of excess weight like I did, you're gonna have a lot of extra skin. Your body's just gonna be a bit different. And so this is the only scale I've ever used that made me feel confident knowing that I was on the right track because all my other health markers were aligned. If you're interested in getting the Hume Health Body Pod, you can use our discount code down below. Using that bundled with the discounts they have on all the time can get you this thing for up to 50% off. And if you are living in the States, it is also FSA and HSA approved. So you might even get it as part of your medical coverage. All right, now to the final hack in oil-free cooking. This is the one when most people figure it out, they're kind of locked into oil-free for life. Because really what people miss isn't oil, they miss the richness that they think they can only get from oil. So let's replace that richness intelligently. When it comes to making things like sauces, I want to encourage you to try 4 different bases instead of the amount of oil you're using. So if it calls for a half a cup, use a half a cup of these things. White beans, cashews, ideally ones that are raw and unsalted. Potatoes, White potatoes are gonna give you the most versatility, but try sweet potatoes as well. And silken tofu. And the beautiful thing about that is it's a protein powerhouse. Here's an example of a sauce that I recently made using white beans, garlic, lemon juice, nutritional yeast, salt, and just a little bit of water. And if I add anything else to it, I'll put it up in the ingredients list here on the screen. And all I did was blend them up. Creamy, smooth, tastes a little bit like luxury without a drop of oil. And you know what the bonus is? Fiber, protein, nutrients. Here's the way I like to frame it in my mind. I didn't so much as remove oil as I added other things and I upgraded it nutritionally. Let's zoom out for a second. I think the reason why oil-free cooking is hard for most people is because they think of it like a subtraction. But when you learn techniques like this, you're not subtracting, you're just like replacing the mechanics. You're controlling things like heat, moisture, surface area, browning, and texture. Those are the levers, and oil is just one tool to get you there. Now you have 5 more. And for those that are asking, what about replacing oil in my baking? Well, let me know in the comments down below if that's a video you want me to make. I have talked about that a lot on the channel, but I can condense that all in here the way I've done with this cooking video. Before we wrap up, let me just recap a couple of the most important things we talked about today. Don't crowd your pan. Don't panic when your food sticks, just deglaze it. Don't use low heat. Browning needs heat. And most importantly, don't expect things to taste like restaurant food. And please, let's just not moralize the use of oil. If you want to use oil, go forth, use your oil. This is not a purity test. It's just me passing on some additional skills. That said, if you are on this whole food plant-based journey and cutting out oil is on your bucket list, this video should help you do that on the cooking side of things. And there are tons of other videos on this channel that will help you on your journey to being more whole food plant-based. So if you like this video, hit that button to let YouTube know to share it with other people, and obviously subscribe for more videos like this, especially like this one that YouTube said, I think this is perfect for them. I've creepily looked through all of their videos and they haven't watched it yet. Or maybe they need to rewatch it. I don't know how they work.